The beautiful blind wife was violated once again. After an afternoon nap, she was about to leave the house when suddenly 2 men appeared beside her. Before she could react, they covered her mouth in an instant. She struggled, but one of the men told her to keep quiet. Then they took out a handkerchief and gagged her mouth. They carried her to the bedroom. She was in extreme pain. By the time her husband returned home, the attackers had already left. She curled up her legs, too afraid to make a sound. She wanted to break free from the ropes and escape quietly, but her body was barely covered by a thin bed sheet, which filled her with shame. Her husband followed the sounds and reached Amy's body. He quickly untied her. He immediately realized she had been assaulted. Pain washed over him, but all he could do was call the police. When the police heard about the case, they agreed to help Jack investigate, but his wife was blind. She couldn't see what the attackers looked like. The only evidence left was bodily fluids. Suddenly, the officer received a call. A mysterious voice ordered him to stay out of this case. Just as the blind couple were about to collect evidence, a white car blocked their path. They overheard the men talking. The police escorting them were called away. Then the couple was locked inside a warehouse. Jack fought back with all his strength, but later they were thrown into the sea. After struggling for 30 hours, they finally made it back to the police station, but the evidence had been washed away by the ocean. No matter how much they explained, it was useless. The officer looked down on them, mocked them even more, and accused them of filing a false report. That mysterious man turned out to be the brother of one of the attackers. With no one to turn to, the couple returned home. His wife begged Jack to just let it go. Jack had no choice but to agree, but their silence only brought more horror. A few days later, Jack came home and discovered something even worse. This is a heartbreaking scene. A blind man stands beside his wife's bed. Her bare feet dangle lifelessly behind him. He doesn't notice at first, but when her foot brushes against him, he turns and reaches out to touch her. His face changes instantly. He breaks down in tears. Just days ago, his wife was raped by 2 evil men, but Jack and his wife had promised to get through this together. A mysterious politician warns Jack that this is the end of the matter. But Jack knew there was something wrong with his wife's suicide, and he's determined to find out the truth. Sure enough, under the bed, he finds a scarf and a note from his wife. It turns out that after the politician's brother raped her, they came back again. This time, they threatened to return every week. She couldn't bear the humiliation any longer, so she took her own life. Jack is devastated, but grief soon turns into something else: revenge. Though blind, Jack has an extraordinary sense of hearing. He can even imitate voices with eerie accuracy. He gathers steel balls, glass marbles, sharp weapons, and a mountain of potato chips. Then, using his skills, he mimics the voice of the politician's brother and called another attacker to arrange a meeting. When the man arrived, he found Jack. Jack turned off the light. Now, they are both in darkness. But this environment is good for Jack. Jack throws a steel ball. No matter where the attacker moves, the steel ball can hit accurately. At this time, the attacker finds the potato chips on the ground. Every step he takes will expose his identity, but he manages to reach the light switch. Jack's advantage is gone. The attacker hurls bottles at him, one after another, each one shattering against his body, but Jack refuses to back down. For his wife, for justice, he takes every hit. He locks onto his target and charges. Every ounce of his fury lands in his fists. And with that final blow, Jack claims his first revenge. His eyes are colder now. He will then take revenge on the remaining villains.